Hey y'all, Carolina Tony here. Today the road brings us to somewhere in western Kentucky near Paducah, and we are here at Hillbilly Gardens, and we will be going on a tour, and you get to come with me. Hillbilly Gardens is, we'll find out.
I'm Keith. Keith,
And where are we at?
you're at a place called Apple Valley Hillbilly Garden and Toyland.com. It's long. I'm old, so it's a long title. But,
now, what town are we officially in?
You're officially in Calvert City, Kentucky.
Okay.
Okay. I've lived here since 2005. I'm still looking for the city part of Calvert City.
Okay.
I haven't found that, so if you do find it while you're here,
does this qualify as Western Kentucky?
Yes, you're actually in the heart of Western Kentucky.
Okay,
the part of Kentucky no one knows about.
Okay. So did we say Hillbilly Garden?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah,
Hillbilly Garden. So are you a hillbilly?
Well, that's at least play the part.
You don't have any shoes. Well, hey.
Yeah. Normally I'm wearing a Route 66 here.
Okay. Okay. Well, show us around.
Oh, okay. So,
but basically, what we will call this is folk art.
Right. Folk art, or as the neighbors call it, junk art.
Junk art?
Or they just call it junk. They don't put the word art into the same title.
Yeah, we know what they say. Yeah. Somebody's trash is somebody else's treasure.
You're right. As you can see, we had so many chickens that were mating with our trees, so I put up chicken trees. And then just for all, I had a couple of dragons around here. I had to slay a few dragons, so now we have a dragon mount.
Okay.
Completely a forked tongue. And then over here, this is because that's what my wife gave the history of the place. So my grandfather had a Gulf gas station from roughly 39 to 1964. So this is where his pump stood. That's not his pump, but it's where it stood. So mine, I've turned into a miniature muffler man. And you might notice the neighbors in the county tried to get rid of me for several years. So you may be slitting the neighbors slightly. And don't pay attention to a nozzle. That was strictly by accident. You're supposed to pump gas to your car, so that is strictly by accident. That there is the original potty mouth. And then the other one you're looking at is their raspberry tree. Raspberry. I used to come in here and visit my grandma. I'd be leaning back on a chair and she'd say, "Please don't do that, you might break it." So that is what happened to my grandma's chair. So this is our room for rent, by the way. Room for rent. And if you're staying here, you might want some entertainment besides me boring you. So we did put in a new drive-in movie theater.
Okay.
But unfortunately, you might notice it did close for COVID-19. Hasn't quite reopened yet. So. And then we give it a nice portable barbecue grill. Complete your seasoning catchers. And when it does rain, you might notice you get a fresh cup of coffee. And then we get your nice beer holders. I know you've seen those out there before.
Yeah.
I think they sell those now at that new that Buc-ee's out there. I think you get those at Buc-ee's now. And then
a beer holder.
And then I don't know if you guys have found it yet or not. Yeah, there in Grand Rivers, there's a nice restaurant that a lot of the tourist people eat at in Grand Rivers, and it's called Patty's. They have a grist water well, so this is my Hillbilly homage to Patty's. Hillbilly homage. They don't quite like me advertising them that way. They are a nice restaurant. And then we have these water moccasins. Water moccasins.
Water moccasins. I missed them.
And then yes, while you're down there, you might just get a careful rattlers that might bite you. And then you might also have your nice hillbilly shower.
Yeah.
And then our trees are budding nicely, by the way.
Trees are budding.
And then this was the first flower that sprung up this spring. And you might notice it's already springing forward.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing I have a basket full of bulbs to plant. And then you might notice you're staying here, you're probably already asking that, do we have a public restroom? Yes, we do. We put you in a really nice public restroom to use.
Okay.
Kind of blew that one, but yeah. We were staying here by our restroom with cars.
Yeah. Public.
And then as you guys know, you live down south too, so you know, you can't have a southern tourist attraction unless you have scary mannequins and moonshine stills.
Oh, I know. I've never seen a a roadside attraction or a museum in the South that didn't have moonshine stills.
And then, as I always say, if you're sleeping back here in the wintertime, get some chili back here so you can come out and take the lemonade stand to warm your spirits up at night. Or in the summertime, when it gets too hot and humid here, you bring that mattress out the back, shoo off these really tired flamingos. Really tired flamingos.
Yeah, okay.
And then you lay your mattress on the Hillbilly bed springs. Then you got central air when it does work.
Lawnmower Ranch.
And if you're counting, there are 10 lawnmowers here. Because there are 10 Cadillacs, in case you've never counted them. And then when you thought we had no classes down here, we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We might not have the world's largest grit, but we do have the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Gotcha. Central hub.
Central hub. Okay.
I kind of get it.
You might notice too, my grandpa had an apple orchard here back in the 30s and 40s. So I have the apple trees represent that era.
Right.
And we have both types of my reno, so we do have green and red apple trees. Green and red.
Green and red apple trees.
And yes, the one's producing a nice apple.
I'll zoom it on.
Let's see if you can interpret that.
How'd you get it? He's producing an Apple computer.
Oh, okay.
This you see on all those greats you see on that one. Random on all those guys. Think of Salvation Mountain out in California. Salvation Mountain. This would be my Salvation Mound.
Okay, Salvation Mound.
And as you, so the neighbors finally got their subdivision. They wanted the Ant Farm subdivision. Ant Farm. And then I don't know, on the Salvation Mountain, you might notice the real Salvation Mountain, if you're familiar with what I'm talking about, that dude has a heart on the side of his mountain. It's about 3 stories tall, and you walk up the top of it to the cross. His has like a scriptural Bible in it. Well, my heart's not big enough for that, so I got either a guide or Jesus image with the peace love sign. Or as my kid said, "Wow, Dad, you're so conceited. You put your own image into your art." Classic ones. We're sowing some new crops.
Okay.
Had a nice bumper crop came in.
Yeah.
And then you might notice we do have a redneck tree here, redneck tree. And you might notice they're hanging out the dirty laundry with all the beer falling out.
Okay.
And you might have noticed, depending on which way you came in here, you might notice we have Kentucky's most proudest rest area. Cruising down the highway, you jump the ditch there, rest a little bit. And you stop at nighttime, wanting to read an old-fashioned book where you still need a light. We have a chandelier out there. And we are using Bud lights.
Bud lights.
This here is, we don't waste our money at Walmart buying imitation Christmas trees. It's pretty darn obvious. We do grow our very own live imitation Christmas trees.
Okay.
So every year we got a fresh one down for the holidays, you might notice. Now, a couple years ago, I did learn to use a combination of yeast and manure. It does grow the ornaments for you. Now, I know you two might be saying, hey dude, you start using what I call yeast. You're only getting cheap beers out there. Clubbing while you're here.
You clubbing.
And we give you a designated driver. Now over this way, some old people stuff. You might notice we now have a tribute to Deadwood, South Dakota.
Okay.
Deadwood, South Dakota.
Yeah.
And as you get higher on that log, it does come leftover wood stock. I know it's the wrong type of sand over there. Interpretation of Soul Train.
Soul Train.
And then, yes, we do have seasonal pineapple shows up. Seasonal pineapple. It shows up in the spring. It does go away in the fall. So seasonal. This tree really does suck.
You get it, don't you? That's an easy one.
Yeah. Well, this is even easier. Obviously, be careful with my, she's got it back here. Be careful with my sinkholes.
Yeah.
Now, if you might be heading there or already came back from there, but if you go to Bowling Green, I didn't lose quite as many Corvettes in my sinkholes as they did in the one in Bowling Green. So I'm now growing modern technology, but I know you're saying, "Hey, dude, that's not so modern anymore." So that's why there's a rebooting system behind it. Reboot.
Well, you have an amazing.
And then for the older people who are watching our video, yes, we do have a little bit of Farmer in the Dell action going on. Farmer in the Dell.
Oh, you get it. Farmer, boots, the Dell. Okay.
And then see what else we got going on. Let's see. And then we have we had toucan that showed up. A toucan.
Toucans.
In the tree. Yeah, toucan in the tree. And then you might notice. I know you got to edit this out, but you might notice that woman can has a nice set of toucans too.
Toucans.
And then that's your Hillbilly Soundgarden.
Okay.
Hillbilly Soundgarden. Not quite as fancy as that one in Seattle, but this is the Hillbilly version. So. Tribute to a lonely agitator.
Okay, a lonely agitator. Gotcha.
Then over here, I'm not sure you guys are legal where you're at or not, but we're not legal in Kentucky. You have to get to Illinois to be legal, but this is Kentucky's legal pot garden. And you do have to weed out the pans, you might notice occasionally. If you don't, the pans overtake your good pot. There is a tribute to Underground Cop. Then, as you guys are probably figuring, any tree next to the pot garden would be pretty wacky.
Okay. Weed whacker.
Over here, by the way, because like I already told you, I was in LA for 20 years. No one knows who I am, so this is the original three-way calling. And I know you guys are old enough to remember. It took us forever to text on these things. Well, it's not working right now, but it took us forever to text them. It took us so long to text, so we ended up how to talk on our phones. So, the original three-way, and then I assume you guys might remember, because I assume we're about the same age, I'm going to say roughly. So you might remember in the old days, your parents used to put these in their pocket when they traveled with them. And you gotta be a pain in the arse. You gotta be a pain in the arse because they had to keep something in the store to buy more cord. Because obviously, the further house you got, longer cord it had to be. Could go anywhere back then without trouble on someone's cord. That's how tight America was back then. And then if you guys were like me in the backseat of that car trying to sleep on those vacations, come back home you couldn't because you might remember your dad or mom kept waking you up. We had to keep sitting and rolling the cord back. We got to push it home. So back to the main original three-way calling. Then we have the scoop. We got the scoop, we got the dirt, we got the trash on you guys. If not, we will dig up something about you. So the early television system, get the scoop. Then so the three different organizations at the same time. And This is one of my favorite pieces. I do have a few friends in LA have issues with those guys. And then it's the this here. I think we're all from the right generation, so we all know they called those things heads at one point.
Yeah.
So this is a Hillbilly chariot. That's all it was, a Hillbilly chariot. So obviously your peons would pedal their king or queen around. And then about 9-10 years ago, the hot rod power tour and the Mopar tour went down Highway 68 here. We were a designated stop for them. So when all these cool Hot Wheels, as my kids put it, were pulling in here, we had nothing to resist the hot rodders. So I ran out real quick, put my head and headers on the back so we fit with the hot rod folks. So now you might notice those peons have to be careful. Once that king or queen kicks into gear, they're in for one hell of a ride, as long as they don't blow their head. The lakes have been having issues, a certain type of fish, and I went fishing one day and caught one of those rare rubber sharks. And you might notice how the jaws are the rare rubber shark jaws.
Oh. Okay.
Rare rubber shark jaws.
Rare rubber shark. Okay.
And then of course we do have a gator pit here, and our gators are starting to escape. And you gotta be careful; they might snap at you.
It's a gator pit. You figure it out. Okay, gator pit. You see all the gator aid cans, and they might snap at you. You know why? Snapple bottles.
Killer milkshake of our free, and it's not called the killer milkshake anymore. It's a Terminator. Good milkshake.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna have to repaint all that. Oh yeah, and then over here, we used to have a real life hillbilly brown bear, by the way, a real life hillbilly brown bear, and her name was Lady Bear, by the way. I'm not lying to you, And if she was still here to come out, you swear you was looking at a bloodhound, but she was our hillbilly brown bear. And then you might notice we had some bats show up the other night. Bats.
Yeah.
And I assume you guys know they fall under government control now, so we can't shoot the bats off anymore. They're an endangered species.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, our chicken ranch is not doing too well. Our greeter has gone bony.
Oh boy.
And I don't know if you've heard about it yet or not, but the Land Between Lakes, where you're near, they have something called the LBL Beast now, which is obviously our version of Bigfoot. So Land Between Lakes Beast or LBL Beast. And as you see, I caught one, but I forgot to feed the darn thing, so he's kind of mummified on me now. But he's still pretty rare, because as you probably know, going to all those places, they always display the big one. I got the baby. Getting some open ranges. And then on that second story, you might
raise chickens.
And then you might notice we were working on a new bed and breakfast. You know, Mother Nature's wicked to me, so I got a lot of time to repair. Speaking of Mother Nature being wicked to me, that tree fell down within the last couple of months, so now we have a suicidal tree.
Suicidal tree.
Then on back here, in case you're wondering, yes, we are growing a can post pile. Not sure what it's going to grow into. I do know it's not going to grow on higher than say 10 to 16 feet. Won't grow on higher than that. But I'm not sure how far out it's going to spread, but it is growing. So, tree of lost soulmates. There's only one of each.
Lost souls. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Well, I just say mates because it's just, you know, like one.
I figure that out. Okay.
And then next to it is your morning, I call it band tree now. Morning band tree or alcoholic tree, whichever you want to go with it. You know, in the morning when you're waking up trying to sober up, is it too early to start again?
Okay.
Now what scares me is those shoes have been here 3 years. 3 years. And nothing's grown on them yet.
Wow.
So what type of chemicals on those things?
I don't know. That's strange.
Yeah, so as I said. But you do have to watch out with the Crocs.
Yeah.
Either that or Carpetbagger's been here several times.
Yeah. He sent you his old shoes.
And then of course a few of the souls have awoken because they've seen the light. Does it get worse? I'm assuming they must be the church ladies. Jack in the beanstalk.
Jack in the beanstalk.
And then their face of a very giant, obviously.
Oh, I love it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then I think Cars, if you know, Cars, the Radiator Springs thing. It takes place in a town, I already mentioned it, Radiator Springs. So you have the real
Radiator Springs. Okay.
Yeah, because you guys do the Route 66, you probably already noticed that Arizona and New Mexico, every town you come to, said they're interested in Radiator Springs. So now you can tell me you've been to the real Radiator Springs. Now just
here's what I've just learned. Who is the devil? But hey, when it gets too hot, I could grab AC and head on down to the hot party.
for drinks and stuff. But at the same time, the world news keeps telling me that plastic bottles are bad for the environment. If they're bad for the environment, I'm not sure why they're growing on a tree. So it must be some of that new fake news. Well, what did you see? I think I messed all that up on the setting up, but I came across one of those woods one time. I said, "Dude, on one of your trees." He said, "Sure, you want to dig it up?" So I did. I planted it here. Now, what I cannot figure out for the last 2 to 3 years, no matter what I do, my balls not growing higher, say 10 to 16 feet. Can't figure out why they don't grow higher than 16 feet. I know the two of you guys are probably saying to yourself, "Hey, dude, how do you even know when to harvest your bottles?" Well, you don't have to harvest them; they do actually ripen.
And they fall
to the ground. And then you're saying, "How bad is that school you went to?" I did not learn that from school. I learned it from the main source, the tree of knowledge over there, the tree of knowledge.
Okay.
Make sure you don't like tree.
I see it. I see it.
The next to the tree of knowledge is an old-fashioned pot-belly stove tree, complete with his hot pocket mouth. Well, you know, in your travels, the only people that see space aliens seem to be the country people or hillbillies. So I figured we need our own spaceship. So the Hillbilly spaceship. And it does take a lot of pedal power. A lot of pedal power to get your booster ignited. And you might know something about your safety, by the way. So I give you a nice safety helmet to wear. So try not to strain too hard getting that getting that booster ignited. And there's a tiny bit of hatch on top for the dark side of the moon. And then I assume you notice that new fandangled push button intercom system. Push. I assume you remember these things yourself. You know? This is my kid's Hillbilly treadmill. Complete with lead paint. And as you see, that's not affecting me whatsoever. And then the old saying, you can't beat a dead horse. The old saying, you can't beat a dead horse. Well, I assume you notice you can sure split a dead horse.
Split a dead horse in half.
And if you don't like that, we have a lot of horseradish. Do retreads to get you back to the Carolinas. We do retreads here.
Okay.
And then while these are filming that, okay, that there is a semi-trailer. I assume you guess. I assume you know it's a semi-trailer.
Yeah.
And it's full of 80% of the toy collection still in this thing, waiting for that bigger Toyland. We got Brian's shrimp. I agree with that thing. So as you look around, go ahead and enjoy. Do what you want to do.
How many toys are in here?
Over 3,500. I quit counting at 3,500.
Over 3,500 toys.
And
Oh boy. This is a little bit overwhelming. Look. Skipper Gilligan. Who that is. I'll get you one, Brady, and your little dog too. And look. The monkeys. chips. Look here. Who is this?
Well, you might notice too with the car he has been here. He actually, we were his end destination. He actually traveled across the country to come here, and then he worked his way back to the West Coast. Well, it's all different rain that says you can stick your head out of. Almost there also. That place was pretty cool too in Missouri. But no, that sounds like a cool trip.
So how long have you been collecting toys?
Okay, toys, I collected toys for 20 years back in LA. Literally back in LA is where I collected toys for 20 years. I planned to come back here and build a Toyland. And I collected for 20 years back in LA to come back to do it. Now, since I've been back here, we don't really collect toys anymore because it's going to end up in that semi-trailer. No one's getting enjoy, including me. So until I get a bigger building, no need to buy any more toys. But I do give up pulp culture, so some of that you might, well, I don't know, you probably don't want me ramming all this, but you'll notice over there, the Victorian house, you might notice all the Batman villains are in the Victorian house, the Batman villains. Clear for looking on the small balcony, you may notice Two-Face and Riddler forcing Robin to watch the blue-collar comedy team. You may notice Ryan White is passing out again. He's passing out what I call the ultimate jam session. So you might notice we got the K-pop, the new K-pop band. BTS is over there. BTS, I know you probably don't know who they are, but BTS, Kiss, the Muppet Band, Alice Cooper, Jim Morrison are all jamming together. And hey, they must be in sync because they are doing the time warp. Okay. Which is pretty incredible. Then you may notice both Willy Wonkas are back here making sure everyone said happy during the jam session with their special candies. So we have Gene and Johnny back here.
So, there's Jim West.
Wait. These would be from about the 50s, because this 50s.
The Beverly Hillbillies. Billy the Kid action figure. How cool is that?
And that's why everybody. You have to remember that to get that. And then, of course, historically, I always said the Alamo was going to have their outcome this time. Because I tell you that Mars Attack was coming after me out of a big Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. I think I would turn and run. So historically, have a different outcome.
A Jerry Springer action figure. There is Alfalfa, and Spanky, and Stymie. Or is that Buckwheat?
Buckwheat. That's what I was trying to think.
Is that a Donald Trump?
Yes, it is.
Donald Trump when he had brown hair? That's an old action figure.
Yeah, there you go. Reruns of David Crockett. Buddy Epson played George E. Russell as a sidekick.
So, on the building, which is actually on the Alamo, right?
Yes.
You have Buddy Epson's autograph, and you have Fess Parker's autograph. That's cool. On the bridge here, that is a Jimmy Stewart action figure.
Yes, it is.
It looks like it. And then Clarence the Angel, that looks like him. That's amazing. I never knew.
Displacing all this stuff.
Yeah. It's Pee-wee.
It painted or they came non-painted. And the exciting part was you could buy a White House or a Capitol building and play your presidents. Now, the company put these out of Marks, the ones that did the Western Toys on our side. They ran an 8x10 ad in the old Sears catalogs back in the mid-60s telling your parents how much fun you're going to have playing with the presidents at Christmas time. I'll put it this way, these things are high on my Christmas wish list. This way.
You know who this is? Carol Burnett. Do you remember that skit on the Carol Burnett show? Well, she made a dress out of the curtain.
No.
It is. 1928 to 1964, Oral Wallace. He was known for his apple orchard and homemade sweet and hard cider. He sold it by the gallon or the glass. Keith, you have any of that left over?
No, I wish I did. I don't know anything about it.
But this is the store. Now, this store was Bonnie and Clyde.
Supposedly Bonnie and Clyde. Well, supposedly they hung out in the house for,
So-
for 2 nights,
So Bonnie and Clyde
supposedly.
hung out in this house for 2 nights.
And they had their car hid behind the original garage. Original garage. And my grandmother hated them, so that was the whole thing. She said most evil people she ever met.
Yeah.
And I had never heard, I had never heard of Bonnie and Clyde coming to Kentucky, so.
Yeah.
But when I did my research, they ran as far as Wisconsin, Michigan, and went down. I don't know if, I don't get in the way.
Go ahead, talk to me.
I assume you know, sorry, is this a good one or not? I can't tell. Yeah, well, I used to go with this one. I guess, well, no, this one's the only one that operates right now. But you might notice our classic signs, open.
Close. Okay.
But are you open from 8 a.m. or 10 a.m.?
We're actually open from 8 a.m., but I was too lazy to come out and paint. Yeah, carpetbagger is the reason we open at 8 now. So.
Oh. This is really overwhelming.
Yeah, that's my grandparents' old country store.
So here's Keith Holt, proprietor.
Yeah, there we go. It was a 3 to 4 seat diner. You might notice you could sit there and eat your chicken dinners. As I know, you know, in the old days they pump your oil up in those ball jars. You might see the ball jar up there. Back this way, the ball jar. There, up there, second level is the ball jar.
Right here.
Yeah, you get your oil for your car. Also in the summertime, my grandfather put a stool here and cut your hair with those things. Those
Really?
you had to squeeze together to get them to operate. And so something tells me my grandfather might have used that same oil for all 3 items. For your chicken dinner. Here.
So they say this shotgun was left by Bonnie and Clyde.
But they do say lift, just in case it is a film.
Yeah. Gun lift by Bonnie and Clyde. 1933.
Yeah.
County attorney files petition against Hillbilly Gardens. Shame on them.
And eventually we had to get an entertainment license so now I can legally bug you with bad puns. And like I said, it was about 100-foot building. So you can see if they kind of left me alone, they just got a gaudy building and I would have been it. But no, they created the full art.
So when you took everything to court, you said, here. No, when you took them to court to present your case, you said, here's my blueprint of what we intended on doing. It's done it grand.
We're doing a junk art competition for the kids at school, and my kids did take part, and my younger kids did. So this is my son's shoo train. Shoo train. And then his toasted turtle. My daughter's penguin, complete her palm tree. My daughter's web is spider, and then this was my son's mouse catcher. And then my daughter's hey from Milana, but she called it fried chicken. You might notice it is standing on frying pans. And then that was my daughter's collie dog, because it had Teflon ears. And then my son's Minecraft sheep. No pun there, but that's all that. This can has stayed on it for 76 bicentennial year. So back in 76, 7-Up did a series of 50 cans. Each can has stayed on it.
Yeah.
On the back, it had either these blue or red 7-Ups. You might notice it says 7-Ups. Now you'll have to come back in here, but stand over here and just focus the camera over there. When you stacked all 50 cans up, it made Uncle Sam wants you. You see Uncle Sam in there?
I do. That's pretty cool.
So I wish they'd do stuff like it nowadays, so I don't do anything that cool anymore.
Then when it's got and it was a real pop top.
Yeah, oh yeah, a real pop top, yeah.
I actually
Hillbilly Gardens and
Land.
Hillbilly Gardens and Toyland. Thank you for being such a gracious host. Keith Holt. And Keith, you got a website too?
Oh yes, it would be Apple Valley Hillbilly Garden and Toyland.com.
If you are ever near Calvert City,
Kentucky.
Confound it, cars. If you are ever near Calvert City, Kentucky, you owe it to yourself to come and check out this place.
Thanks for coming, and I forgot the tagline.
Y'all have a good day.
You all have a good day.
Yeah.
You all come back, you hear?